What's up guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back. I have not made a YouTube video in probably, I think 2.5 years, 3 years. It was like my 6 month or a year on testosterone the last time I made a video. I did a poll last night on Instagram asking if you would rather hear about my top surgery experience or when I started hormones. So I did the poll last night and most of the people, surprisingly, wanted to hear about my top surgery experience. I honestly thought it was going to be the other way around. So, we're here to talk about my top surgery experience. So, I'll start out with talking about how to research some of the surgeons. It really depends on how much you're willing to pay, I guess, because not all insurances actually cover the surgery. Some don't see it medically necessary, but thankfully my insurance does. I'll get into that a little bit further into the video, but how to research some surgeons. If you are already on testosterone, a good way to figure out some surgeons that are maybe in your area or talking to your endocrinologist, because they do have knowledge of surgeons that are in the area. But you can also look on Google, and there's actually a website called TransBucket, and people will actually post their reviews on their surgeons, or they just try to help out. If you're looking for a surgeon, well, here you go, here's some pictures, here's the pros, here's the cons, the cost, and also if there were any complications with the surgery. So I would definitely check that out because it definitely helped me out. I researched about my surgeon a lot, a lot. And honestly, I am so happy that I chose her. My surgeon is Dr. Rachel Bluebond-Langner in New York City with NYU. And she and her team are absolutely the best people ever. I had never had surgery prior to top surgery. I had never been put under anesthesia, and I have never gotten an IV, none of that. So I was totally freaking out because I was like, oh my God, I've never had these things before. What do they feel like? And honestly, they made me feel so comfortable and so welcomed that it wasn't even a problem. When the time came for everything, it went beyond smooth, and I couldn't be more happy with it. So with researching some surgeons, a good thing to look into about them are where they're at, if they accept insurance, because actually some surgeons don't accept insurance, so then you have to pay out of pocket, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But I know Dr. Garamone in Florida, his results are amazing. So if you're able to come up with 10 grand, I believe it was, then he's definitely a surgeon that you should look into getting surgery with. But unfortunately, that was not something I was able to do. Also have to think about traveling. If you want to travel, take care of yourself, and you just have to set so many things up when you have to travel. So I know sometimes it is necessary for you to travel because the surgeons in your area aren't something that you would like. But just definitely think about the little things, how are you going to get there? Are you going to drive? Are you going to fly? You have to be careful about all these things. So now we can talk about the insurance. I have Aetna. I'm under my mom's insurance. She, I believe, has the highest plan for Aetna because it's through her work. And thankfully with my insurance, they cover 90% of the procedure, but they do not believe that the nipple grafts are a part of the surgery. Thankfully, when I talked to my surgeon, she was like, oh my gosh, I know I've been fighting with Aetna for so long, trying to tell them that nipple grafts is a part of the surgery, it's a need, it's a must. Why would you go through all this time and trouble and money to have a surgery to make you feel more comfortable with yourself, but then not be able to get your nipples? She was like, it would be an incomplete job, and I wouldn't be happy with that. So it made me feel really good that she was prior already fighting for it. But thankfully, she told me that she was going to be doing my nipple grafts for free, which a lot of surgeons will actually do that. So it's actually really nice. so you don't have to have an additional payment for that. But I know some surgeons offer payment plans, or you can get, I believe it's care credit as well. If you aren't able to use your insurance or come up with all the money right then and there, then I believe some surgeons offer payment plans, which is pretty cool. Now, for scheduling your consult, if you aren't sure that you want to go with this one specific surgeon, by all means, book 10, 15 consults with different surgeons to figure out which one you really like, because every surgeon's different. Every surgeon does procedures differently. There's a whole bunch of different types of surgery: double mastectomy, keyhole, lollipop. It's just, there's so many different types that different surgeons do. Also with the drains, some people use drains, some people don't. It's really what you feel comfortable with and what you can also afford. When I scheduled my consult, I actually had to wait 4 months in order to go in for my appointment, and normally that's a good time. It's not too long of a wait, but some people I know, after I had already went to my consult, wanted to book a consult with my surgeon, and she was booked for a year. So I got in just in the nick of time, so I'm very thankful for that. At the consult, what you'll talk about is the method that you want. They'll measure your chest, and they will also tell you what they think is a better procedure for you. It depends on your chest size, honestly, with if you can get keyhole or double mastectomy. I went with double mastectomy. My chest was a little bit on the bigger side. In order to get keyhole, your chest has to be very small. I'd say like an A or a B cup, like a low B cup. Even if I were able to get keyhole, I don't even think I'd go with it because of a 30% chance of like needed revision, and I wasn't going to put myself through a major surgery and then down the road have to get another revision for the same surgery. So I just went with the safe route and did the double mastectomy. What else will happen is they will actually take pictures of your chest. It's for before and after pictures. So what you'll do is take pictures for your consult, and then after surgery, I believe it's your like 3-month checkup or 6-month checkup, they will also take pictures of your chest as well to see the progression. And then the next would be 1 year that they would take pictures as well to just show the gradual change. So it's actually really cool. I haven't seen my pictures yet just because they're not done completely. I'm about 7 months post-op. When you're about to actually leave from your consult, they will tell you, all right, we'll give you a call in about a week or two to give you a surgery date. That's if you are choosing to go with that surgeon. And I decided, I only went to one consult, which was with my surgeon, because I knew that's exactly who I wanted. I loved her results. I loved how the reviews were on her. I loved how everybody just had positive things to say about. I only had one consult and I went with that surgeon. So I then waited for that phone call, and they said if you don't get a phone call from us within 2 weeks of your appointment, you can call us and we can try to see. We could speed it up a little faster, because the whole thing is that they're waiting for their insurance to also approve this surgery, which sometimes can take a little bit longer because the insurance needs all these things. So there's certain requirements that each insurance actually requires you to go through in order for them to properly approve your surgery. So my requirements were along the lines of like, you have to be 18 or older, you have to be a year on T, you have to have 2 letters, one from your endocrinologist and one from a therapist, stating that you're mentally capable of making your own decisions, that you know of the possible repercussions or anything that could have went wrong with the surgery. So each insurance requires different things in order for them to approve your surgery. So you can always call your insurance and figure out what they will cover and how much they will cover, because every insurance is different. Some, I heard, only cover like 20 to 30% of your surgery, and then some insurances cover the whole thing, which is actually pretty cool. Mine covered 90%, like I said. And then you also have a deductible that you have to pay prior to the surgery, which is normally not too bad. Like if you're under Aetna, I only had to pay $2,500, and that actually gets taken off with the amount for your co-payments, like when you go for your appointments. So every time that I went to pre-op appointment, my copay was $50, and then every time I went to see my therapist or my endocrinologist, it was another additional $50. Since that was towards my surgery, it was required for me to do that. So those actually got taken out of my deductible, and I only had to pay after surgery $75 for my whole surgery. But the bill alone, if insurance didn't cover it, I would have been screwed. My bill was over $64,000. I actually spent one night in the hospital. It was required to spend one night after surgery just to make sure you didn't get any hematoma. Like I said, her staff was absolutely amazing, made me feel so at home. And honestly, I have a lot of friends that say that top surgery was horrible, that they were in so much pain. But honestly, I was not in any pain. It was just more so discomfort. They give you pain medication to take once you leave the hospital, but I only ended up taking one of the pain medication because I was leaving the hospital for a car ride to go home, and the bumps would have literally killed me. So I basically lived off of just like because they also prescribe you a higher dosage of Tylenol or ibuprofen. So that's literally all I was using that whole time, was the ibuprofen, aside from the one time of taking pain medication. So my experience in the hospital, I loved it as much as you could for being cut open. Every 3 to 4 hours, a nurse would come in and check on my chest and open up the binder and strip my drains, and then they would measure it because you have to drain a certain amount in order for them to take out your drains. I'm not sure what the exact number is. I think they wanted you draining less than 10 milliliters in one day. When you first have your surgery, you're draining about like 25 to 30 milliliters, both sides collectively. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It really depends on how your body is healing and where it's putting everything. I actually wound up keeping my drains in for the full 2 weeks. Sometimes people are able to get them out a lot sooner than that, but in my opinion, I'd advise anybody to keep their drains in as long as possible, because I actually had a friend, Alex, if you're watching, hello. We actually had surgery with the same surgeon. We were supposed to have surgery on Halloween together. He actually got his drains taken out earlier than the 2-week mark, and he wound up getting fluid built up in his chest. Now, that is not something you want to deal with. You do not want to deal with fluid in your chest because it feels like a waterbed. I did have a little bit up here because the first night I didn't sleep fully sitting up, and you're recommended to do that so the fluid just goes out easier. He had to get a huge needle in his chest. I mean, your chest is numb, but still, why would you want to have a huge needle stuck in your chest? And it had to be drained. No thank you. Honestly, the whole surgery, I was so scared for it. So scared for no reason, let me tell you. It was a breeze. It was a pain in the butt to constantly strip your drains and not be able to fully do what you want. But honestly, it is so beautiful to have it done. I feel so free. I don't even know how else to explain it other than free. Like, it's so weird feeling a shirt on my chest, and like when I go outside and walk around, it's so weird because I can feel the wind on it, and it's like so amazing. But I guess I could show you what my chest looks like right now. So I'm about 7 months post-op, and you can see where the drains went right there, and right here for the incisions. another drain hole site right there, and then these are the incisions. But you can see that I actually healed really nice. I was really worried that my incisions were gonna like be stretched and not look nice, but thankfully it came out so nice and I'm so happy with it. And it would look so much better if I worked out. And I haven't. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be posting videos weekly. I haven't figured out my schedule yet, but I definitely want to post maybe 1 to 2 videos a week, or 1 video a week just starting out. Definitely hit the subscribe button so you know when I will be posting, and also hit the post notifications because then you know when I'll be posting. That's all I have for you guys today. Also, actually, follow my Instagram. I'll put it in the description. It's Hunter_Chance98. I will be posting polls probably on there to figure out which videos I should post. My next video will probably be about how I started on testosterone. But alright guys, peace.